Hi everyone, my name is Harley and welcome to TransByDef on Saturdays. So before we begin with the topic, you like this? It's a dragging with the wings burnt off. Pretty cool. Also, if you're in the market of a phone, I will suggest the Galaxy S3. Like, I've seen the phones out right now, including the EVA 4G LTE. And guess what? Like, I really think this is a better phone. I mean, it really has some really good options in it. I mean, the S voice is pretty good, but there's still some things that, but I found out I can do this. I also changed the wake up command, so. Computer. Open Facebook. Woo. So it opens Facebook, or you can open any app. You can tell it to set an alarm, or you can tell it to snooze. Even like when you're taking pictures, I can say cheese or capture, and it'll take the picture for me. So if like I have it far away or something, it's pretty cool instead of using like a remote or something. I mean, it really has some really cool features on it, and it's Harley approved. But anyways, let's go on to today's topic. So, transgender stereotype is the topic.
Don't get strung out by the way I look. Don't judge a book by its cover. I'm not much of a man by the light of day, but by night I'm one hell of a lover. I'm just a sweet transvestite from transsexual Transylvania.
Okay, so I showed a little clip of Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I think this was a really good kind of example of stereotype, but I don't think so. That's like one of my first things I've seen, and if someone sees that as the first thing and only the thing, they're gonna think that that's the stereotype. I think the song in there was really good because it's talking about don't judge a book by its cover and things like that. The thing is, I was going to act something out, but I figured being new to transgender and stuff like that, I realized there's a lot of different types of people out there, and I don't want to act something out that maybe someone actually exists or is going to be hurt by it. So I don't want to do that. So instead I'm going to talk about it. All right, so I hope you like. So media, definitely there's an influence on media. You have the news. The news is horrible when it comes to reporting about transgenders. For example, there is this thing that happened in Florida, and I'm going to post a link down there. And it's this trans woman. She's a housekeeper, and she actually touched a boy inappropriately, and that is a completely different subject than transgender. But what the news did was they pretty much linked them both completely together. They definitely had to say that this woman was a transgender. They definitely had to say it. But what of her being transgender had anything to do with her touching a boy? Why did they link that together? And that kind of upsets me a little bit. It's almost like they did two stories in one, and they were really pretty bad about it, because they would say, and guess what? This person's a transgender. And then they would say he. They would use the incorrect pronouns all the time. It would be like, Vanessa is a man who lives his life as a woman. And I'm like, whoa. Like, why did they say that? And then they didn't say it once, they say it twice. And then it was just like, the anchor was like, this is a weird story. And it's like, oh my God. And I mean, that really is something, because that's going to create this link between transgenders and being a pervert. And it's already there. There's politicians like Richard Floyd who believes that transgenders are perverts. He even said it, there is that stereotype there, and it's really bad because I'm not a pervert. What makes me a pervert? And it's just horrible. It's a horrible stereotype, and I don't like it. It needs to go away. It needs to be corrected. All right, so this next part I'm going to talk about Jerry Springer's show, whether it's true or fake. But the thing is, transsexual and transgender was the first time I've heard it was on Jerry Springer's show, and first time I actually seen one. And a bunch of times I got a really bad first impression on it, and it was almost like a stereotype that they were trashy people, and they usually identify themselves as a man. Like they would just say, "I'm a man" to their boyfriend or something like that, and then you see the fight break out. And it's kind of like you get this wrong impression about transgenders, and you get this impression that transgenders they're out to trick people, and it's like, no, that's not the case. And you get this really bad impression with the Jerry Springer show, and I think that's also another stereotype on that. Also, doing web searches when I was young, still young, but when I was little and I was doing transsexual, transgender searches, I would always get pornography. And I think there is a little stereotype on that, saying that all transgenders are sexual objects or something like that, and that's not the thing. If you take the fact that they're transgender, it could be a straight person, a gay person doing porn. It doesn't matter. It's the fact that they're doing it just to get some money, because face it, the real world sucks. And especially if you're transgender or gay or something like that, it's difficult to get a job sometimes. And, people have to do what they have to do, and that's it, seriously. All right, so this last part I'm going to talk about is the community. There's LGBT, and the T stands for transgender, I think, or transsexual. But it really should mean truth. I mean, to be true to yourself, live your life how you want to live and be happy. I think that's kind of what it should represent, is to be truth. Because saying it's transgender, well, that's a stereotype now. And it's saying that this whole entire umbrella should be transgender, but they're not. You have crossdressers, transvestites, bigender, genderqueer, transgender, transsexual, gender bender, I don't know. There's all these types, and they're classes, and it's like, well, what defines you to be in this community? And it's all this stuff, and I've actually seen some wars between some of these classes, and it's really bad. I've seen a war between non-op and post-op, and I'm like, I try not to get involved, but it's kind of weird, because it's like, someone was saying, oh, you shouldn't do that. You're not really who you are. You're not really part of this community if you're doing that. And it's like, whoa, I'm living my life how I want to live. You are doing it the same exact thing. So be free, smoke some weed or something, and there is some stereotype in there, and that's why I hate labels. And like I say this all the time, but I do hate labels because they're so vague. And that's the thing, that's another stereotype right there. So here's a surprise. You see that? I'm going to get something else added to it. Something else slapped on. Maybe something along the lines or something. It's like a temporary tattoo. Yeah, I thought I'd just joke around with that. I'm at for real. I'm thinking about getting a tattoo, but I haven't decided, and I thought I should prank some people and say, I got a tattoo. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed Saturday, and you have a good time.